Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the next part of the Bang project, where for last time we were working on the left gauntlet, and I went and hardened it. So that's how I kind of set it up. And I decided to finish it off kind of off camera, which basically was just kind of ironing out, getting the details out of here. And I added these two prongs to it, which I know is a building thing, which I did off camera, but I figured it was going to be about 15-20 minutes to make it total before hardening, and I really did, which was kind of a lot less than I wanted for an episode, and I just kind of wanted to get this done. I needed this hardened before I can start the next step. So just to give a brief recap on what I did for this, which just to give you an idea of how this looks when it's on here, it does look pretty dang good. Then I actually took the clay I had left over, which was yay much, just kind of rolled it up real quick, just to get a rough down and dirty image of how this is going to play itself out in the end. And seeing that on there makes me glad that it's going to be removable, because quite frankly, he's going to look better without that on there anyway. But that's what's on the image on the side, and really most of the other images he doesn't have. Okay, that one he does. I just deleted a bunch of pictures from my computer that don't show it. But on this one we can see he still has a hand on there. The profile one, he still has that. And as you can guess, this session we're going to be getting back into the actual jacket portion. So I wanted to at least put a back image on here as well. But in any event, just to go over what we did off camera, which wasn't much, which was adding these prongs to it. So each of them is made from, I made a third one of these, a piece of wire that I had bent down with a little kind of straight tip on the end. I took it, I shoved that wire in, and then just kind of grabbed some clay. I already got some more. Just kind of glued it on, wrapped around, and from this core, I then went and made these two guys off of that, which is now, it's glued in, it's physically inserted into the metal piece, will be kind of the clay part, whatever over there. And it is, like I said, it has a solid core, so it's not going to go anywhere. And that is that. Like I said, that took maybe 15-20 minutes or so to do. It took another like 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes, just kind of re-smooth this out to the best of my ability. Hardened it, and there we go. So it's actually probably better I did this off camera, because that was a lot of really kind of fine working, and I'm standing this far back from where I was for that kind of detail. It actually made life a little easier for me there. So that's where that is. And like I said, this was just, it's literally what was left over, and it's actually going to wind up pretty close to what it needs to be in the end. So actually, I'm just going to set this piece aside for a while. Boop, over there. Going to set the metal piece aside, because we don't need that anymore. That was just for kind of show and tell kind of stuff. And let's go and prep this, because now we get an exciting time, because we get to finally do something with the actual jacket. So let's see if we come back to him. Gauntlets are now done. I shouldn't touch that one. That one isn't hardened yet. So we can, I'm going to start here working on the sleeves towards the middle, and then from here probably get the back on, as we can see on this super highly pixelated image, but it's the best I have that has just his back. And then once that's in there, then we get these big old sleeves coming over, and it won't be finished this session, but I'm hoping by next session, hopefully then, we will have this all looking right, and we can finally move on to the next step, which unfortunately is not the hair, because I need to get the scarf done before I can do the hair. And my goodness, this face is still a face, and it either needs to be painted or it needs hair badly, but I still can't get there yet. But we will, it'll come. It is just definitely a face. It makes me laugh every time I see it, because it just has that look that just makes me want to laugh whenever I see it. Okay, well, in terms of doing the arms, this is probably the best image I have for that. And the good thing is now that this is actually hardened, I'm now not going to be messing things up, as I will probably mess up the camera angle a lot during this. But at least now I can kind of put this in and make this slide. Come on, webcam stuff. Get this to work out the way I want it to. And actually I don't need, once again, I don't need the head on here for the time being, so head can go away. And now the entire purpose of having this thing done separately, or having at least the notch out that we put on here, is now I can go and actually anchor this into place the way I want it to, which I threw the glue over here, but I'm actually going to need a little bit of this glue. So let me just start with a little piece of clay. I really don't want much clay. I just want a teeny bit of clay. And I want this on here. The hand kind of comes, just to get an idea, let's go back to the original image. So if we're coming here, we're down, hand is tweaked just a little bit, so that gives me kind of a visual on where I want to go with that. And being as nothing of this is hardened yet, I can just put a mark there, and that mark, as you can see, is now where I just need to kind of glue this onto the wire. Didn't need that much glue. That was a lot of glue. But now I can put that on there so that I know that when this thing goes on, that's where that's going to go. And once this thing goes in, I'm going to make it so he can't actually twist around, which is good. Then that will be locked in place, and it's one less thing to worry about. And that will hopefully be it for the glue today. Maybe. No guarantees. Definitely no guarantees. And with that in, we're probably going to be on you for a while, because we need to get the Seinfeld puffy shirt thing going on here a little bit. And it's going to kind of look like the Seinfeld puffy shirt, because this is going to get done before the before the shoulder pads are. So we need to bulk out this as much as I can. Okay, I want this to kind of stay in. I want that hardened enough so that as I add clay to it, it's not going to go anywhere. And this is kind of a special session I'm doing tonight, because this is actually a Wednesday night that I'm recording it. So what are we, actually Wednesday the 25th today? Looking at my watch, yes, we are Wednesday, June 25th. And part of the reason I'm doing this, usually my Wednesdays are off for everything. I don't do workouts on Wednesdays, I don't do recording. Wednesdays are usually my 100%, everything is just off, my rest day in the middle of the week. It has been that way for years. But at the same time, as of right now, when I first started this project, my whole goal was I want to be about, I don't know, 5 sessions ahead, like about a week ahead of my recordings versus what you actually see on these recordings. And right now I am 2 sessions ahead. So as of right now, on Saturday, I run out of content. So I kind of want to get a little bit more done to kind of catch myself back up. I knew last week was going to be a little crazy. So I just need to do a little bit something right here to kind of catch myself back up. That's already helping to kind of hold this in place. So that's good. Because, yeah, no, the barbecue stuff and all that last week has played a little bit of a role in kind of eating up time that I could have been doing this, but didn't. And our nice kind of, we've just gone through our stupid hot, like 9900 degrees, the last 3 days been like 9900 degrees, whatever, and coming back home today, the temperature feels like it's broken. So tomorrow's high is going to be like 20 degrees cooler. Friday's going to be another 10 degrees cooler than that. And frankly, I have done zero workout-wise during this heat stretch. So I need to desperately go out running or biking or something after work for the next couple days. And I may not want to actually do the model stuff on Thursday or Friday. So yeah, I should probably do the good thing and get myself at least slightly more caught up on my backloggery here. Just a little. Just a little. So that's just what we're going to do. So I'm figuring kind of like on the leg on this sleeve, because you can't see anything on this sleeve when we go back and do the inspiration one. I mean, it's completely hidden back there. So I'm kind of treating it a little bit like this leg here, where this gravity is just kind of going to be pulling down on this kind of shoulder or shoulder elbow area. That's not the shoulder. I know a little something about anatomy. I may not know a lot about anatomy, but I know a little something. That's not a shoulder. So it is nice having that kind of set. So now we can kind of start tucking. Important part now is start tucking kind of the sleeve in here properly. The other important part is trying to get more of this on camera, because I feel like for the entire arm process so far, I have been notoriously bad at keeping stuff actually on camera. And that's just the way it is. Okay, so I guess first we want to kind of see where this wants to fit tightly around the gauntlet here. And then from that point, once I know that point is actually kind of a fixed point, then we could actually really get into where to add the volume on these sleeves. Because they really do deserve to have some volume. They want to have volume. They want to be big. Nothing on this model has been subtle. Everything has been like it feels like it's been like oversized to the wazoo. So, subtlety is not a thing. Which I think has only gotten myself in trouble on the face so far, because I do believe that the brow I put on him is just, it is such a caveman brow. I need to look at this thing, and I'm still laughing every time I see it, because the brow is still too big, and with the overhead light, the eyes are just sunk in so far that I just can't help but laugh at that face when I see it. But I think when we get the hair put on, that's going to help a lot. And I think when I'm able to kind of paint the eyes, get the eyes, the white in there, or at least paint on the whites of the eyes, have a lighter skin tone, I think we're going to be able to, I know the brow is too deep, but I think we're going to help mitigate some of that. And that's my plan, my game plan right now. For my hope is that I can start to mitigate that in the not too distant future. And I was all excited, like, oh, I'm gonna have this jacket kind of getting in there. Jacket's gonna be done. This is gonna be really good. I can jump right on it. And I realized, nope, I need to do at least zone 1 of the scarf first. So, although that's not too bad, because really the scarf is gonna be done probably in 2 pieces. My initial thought was the scarf is going to be done in 2 pieces. I'm going to do the section that goes around the body and the neck first. I can harden that, and then I would go and actually put down the main area of the scarf kind of after that. But that main area is going to have some weight to it, so I might have to have a wire wrap all the way around here and go down in 1 piece. I'm not 100% sure how I'm playing that out yet. But either way, I need that done before I can actually do the face. So, that's what it is. So, I know you've been staring at that one for a while now, but you just gotta hold out a little longer on that face. It is what it is. And it's gonna be a little while longer before it gets to something approaching correct. And I feel like this session is probably going to be mostly just kind of blocking out what I need here. I may not have all the folds correct. It's going to be kind of like doing the pants. The folds may not 100% be correct, but I kind of want to start getting the feeling of this jacket kind of going in. And that is the goal. So if I can get at least the main parts of the folds or something correct, the big things. I can always add more individual little stuff later. It's like, if this were the ocean, I want to get the tides right, then I can come back later on and put in the individual waves. But I just want part of this thing going nicely, and then we'll go from there, which is going to be on this arm a lot of on and off to kind of see if we can add some weight to some of this fabric stuff. I guess that's the biggest part, is adding weight to it and not just kind of the detail stuff. Make it feel like something's actually hanging down. Make it feel like something's right. I am very happy now the arms feel like they're properly sized. When it was just this left arm here, man, that was problems. That thing looked gigantic compared to anything else. It just felt all the wrong. But now we're feeling a lot better now that we're a little more balanced. I don't know if anything else on here feels right, but then again, we actually do need to add a lot of puffiness because there's only so much arm to add it. Because really, we only have just the upper arm here to add it on, so it's not much volume we have to work with to make it feel like it expands. It gets wider at the bottom. So the hope is after this session it will look like something. Like I said, I want to get this thing kind of started. I can get even if the arms aren't completely done, I can still kind of start wrapping the back. It's really just those upper shoulder guards where the arms kind of disappear into it, and I can kind of get a bit of a problem area on that. But otherwise, that shouldn't be, the back isn't going to have that issue. But I do just want to get this started first. Now, being as it is a Wednesday, I don't really have much to go off of. I've been very, very thankful that I've been inside working for this week so far, because again, it's been for the first time I think, like, it's been a number of years, we have cracked the 100 mark. It doesn't happen super often. It does happen from time to time. Every couple of years that does happen. But it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since we've had that kind of session. And thankfully I've been working inside for most of this, because bad news being outside in this kind of weather. Although, again, 2 years ago, had an attic job. It was thankfully a slightly cooler than average summer, so it could have been much, much worse, but it was still an attic job, and there was no AC whatsoever or anything to go off of. And that one was rough. Also, this 100-degree weather stuff is why I figured for kind of July and August, when it came to fitness things, I was going to try to get myself in better shape kind of in May and June, and then not really have any hard plans other than kind of I want to do more physical stuff. I'm kind of doing more kind of gym kind of workout things right now. I'm trying to get the upper body going, trying to like work on the quads, work on the hamstrings, kind of work on doing the push-ups and pull-ups, doing the mostly kind of more calisthenic stuff than weight stuff. But I do have that. I have been doing that in my back pocket in terms of staying somewhat in shape. But at the same time, I really haven't been... I knew this was going to be problems when it came to running, biking, and whatnot. If we have a hot summer, it's going to be all the problems. So I kind of front-loaded a lot of my getting in shape. And now, yeah. Now we just have to kind of go with the flow with these hot weather days and see what the future is going to bring. But it's got to cool down way much, and that will help. I never actually did get that 40-mile bike ride in over the weekend on Sunday, like I said I was going to. Instead, we had the thunderstorms, which I believe I said on camera that I was actually recording because of those, because the thunderstorms wasn't going out for rides. So it finally in the middle of the afternoon, all that stuff kind of passed over. It was done. It was gone. It was too late to go for a ride. So instead, I was like, no, I'll do like the zone 2 half marathon thing. Well, it lasted about 3.5 miles, and then that was done. What happened was I'm running like between 9-10 minute miles. I was going nice and easy, nice and slow. And then my core temperature my heart rate kind of starts rising a little bit. It's kind of going 140 beats per minute. Then it's like 145. Then it's like 150. Then it's like 155. Then we hit 160. And by mile 3.5, it was up to 165. It was just like, no, my body is overreacting to the temperature. It will not work. I will get myself into big trouble. And yeah, after the run, it's like you feel bad kind of walking back, but after the run was complete, or really it was after dinner, I just had massive dehydration headache. It took a while before I finally hit, but when it did, it was a massive dehydration headache. It hit hard. And so now unfortunately, it's not fully an out and back run, but the first like 5 miles go out, and then it's a lot of kind of going through. I have a whole lot of kind of winding pads and stuff to get back in case I ever do get myself in trouble. I have kind of a lot of offshoots. If I realize I can't do the full half marathon, I basically have ways I can stop at like 6 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles. I kind of have little kind of, but for the first 3.5, I generally just go out. And I had to walk that back. So, the walk of shame. But I call it the walk of shame, but no, it's not a bad thing. If you were really getting yourself in trouble. I know myself enough now to know that I was actually getting myself into legitimate trouble. And I go weigh myself afterwards. I had that headache that night, and yeah, no, I was definitely getting into legitimate trouble at that point. So step off the gas a little bit, step back, reevaluate, try to figure out why this puffy thing is not at all looking good or right or anything. But or maybe I can jump over the other arm. Maybe I can just jump to the other arm. We can come back to this. I'll figure out what's going on. I haven't really given myself that much time to look at this. I actually kind of just got back home a few minutes ago from doing normal Wednesday things, which back when I was still an advisor for, again, the student group, the Alpha Phi Omega, it wound up, they used to have, I probably still do, the chapter I was advising originally had their meetings nice on like Sunday nights or Sunday evenings, which was great because I can just kind of pop over to the campus, do that, come home, it's on a weekend, you're free. And then they realized, oh, they have things going on Friday night or the Sunday nights, so they decided to hold them on Wednesday nights, which for anybody who's not in college, like any of us who are advising or any of us who kind of have day jobs and may not necessarily live close to the campus or whatnot and have to commute, it was a little awkward at first because now I have to go from work, go home, and they held their meetings like at night because that's just how it's done. So I'd have to come back, drive out there, and by the time I get home at night, it would be like 11 o'clock or something on Wednesdays. But we realized rather than driving home and then driving all the way back out to the campus, because I don't necessarily live near the campus, it was easier to just, rather than go home, go to my parents' place, who's about halfway or so, whatever between, and I go have dinner with them like the once a week, kind of get the family gossip, get the news that's going on, and just kind of meet, say hi, see what's going on. It wound up being good times. It breaks up the week. It's been great. So even though I'm no longer the advisor over there, times have changed. I still go over there on Wednesday nights and hang out for an evening. So I just kind of got back from there, haven't really settled in. I'm just kind of jumping right on this to do this thing right now. So haven't really had time to mull stuff over at this point. I'm just hoping I can at least base this out a little nicely. Get something going on this. Hopefully finally get a little change of pace on this guy. But I don't know where I was going with that thought or why I started on that thought, but we there. Okay, this looks, it's all the wrong, but I'm just going to go with it for right now. And we can just, probably because I'm rounding off, it needs to kind of, it needs a little more kind of sharp edges in here, which I'm not giving it. Because it really does kind of need the actual folds coming down to look right. And I haven't really given it any of that yet. So anyway, let's just go throw something on the other arm, just kind of get the other arm started. I'm not too worried about details right now. Again, this is just throwing clay on the model at the moment, and not much more than that. We're going to be carving out. Let me actually take you off before you fall over. Yeah, once again, I haven't actually thought through how I'm doing this whole section. So I'm just going to add clay on this part. And I think when I come back, probably either Friday night or Saturday, probably, to do the actual stuff, I'll actually plan out how to make this all look good. So don't expect anything to look good at the end of this session. If it does, that'll be awesome. But my expectations on this session are limited. But then again, that's how every basing out section has gone. So I don't know why I expect anything different this time. Not at all. Yeah, I don't have much else on the back of my mind to go off of, except we were looking over stuff at my parents' place, and they're kind of cleaning out some of the stuff from the house and finding things from mine and my brother's that we can kind of take back with us. And I know that I looked at a whole bunch of things, or a number of things, when I was there, and I kind of 100% forgot to take home a couple of things I'd meant to take home today. So, whoops. One of those things when you're just walking out the door, it's like, well, brain wasn't there. So I have, this time it was all the old, listen, I've only had 1 or 2 art classes in my life, my freshman year in college. I know I had one first semester. I forget if we had a second art class the second semester or not. But my old sketchbooks and stuff from there were on the docket that I was supposed to bring back over here. And just 100% forgot that when I walked out the door. So maybe next time I can pack those up and bring them. And I'm not sure they're going to survive very long. I'm probably going to be getting rid of them because a number of those were, for whatever reason, we were doing sketches in charcoal. And I don't think I spray fixed any of those books. So they are probably just a gigantic mess. I didn't really go through it that much, but I'm pretty sure they're just all of the mess right now. And I need to remember this gauntlet is not hardened, so I can't just wedge stuff into it, or it's not going to look good. So let's see, what's actually going on with the back? Let's actually figure out the back here. Because I feel like I don't have a game plan for how to make these arms look good. But we can figure out a game plan on how to do the back. And the back is really going to look probably something... Yeah, it doesn't go down particularly far. It's really just, yeah, something like that. Vertical up top, I'm not 100% sure. Down below, that doesn't look too bad. So what I can do is I can just, if I have you around there, I feel like I can figure out that top part later. But we can get kind of the back on him. Okay, so I can kind of just start with that over here. Go up a little bit far, but that's fine. We do not have to be perfect on this part. This part is a lot of me just kind of wanting to do something, but not 100% sure I know what I want this to be. Because if I have that, what kind of do these shoulder things look like? Oh, I need to reach all the way over here. Because just not bend those fingers. Because up front, he really comes up there, and then the shoulder kind of comes down. It really comes across on the side. It's going to point out more. So that we do that. It's going to be up higher. At least when it goes on, we're going to start getting a really ugly shirt like that. But not yet. Soon we'll have a really ugly shirt. Not yet. For right now, I just need some really ugly sleeves. Let's see, if I turn you guys off, do we have a visual on his sleeves on this? Not really. No, we don't. So let's just keep doing this until either I give up and it looks really, really bad, or we start to get somewhere and it looks awesome. And like I said before, my expectation on this type of detail, aka just kind of doing folds and whatnot, is everything looks wrong, it looks wrong, it looks wrong, then all of a sudden, bam, it just comes out and looks awesome. So that's going to be the way we're playing this. I think we're going to look a little awkward for some time, and then instantly it's all going to come into focus, and we're going to be doing our little happy dance at that point. But I also think once the sleeves here are done, I think this is the harder part of the jacket, is getting these sleeves kind of looking right. I think once they're in, I shouldn't have as much trouble on the actual shoulder stuff. Because the shoulder stuff is just getting a form correct. This has a little more dynamic action to it. That's the word I'm looking for, action, yeah. So once we get this kind of in, I'm less concerned with the other. And it's nice that I'm going on the inside so well, but we need more here on the outside. So let's go, where is F? Once again, very limited number of tools. I can't just put it down and lose it. Okay, that's getting a little better. Alright, dead air time. That is the mark of a true streamer, slash videographer, slash content creator. Influencer. That's what I am, an influencer. Hard to influence when you don't say anything. Usually when I come back like right after a week one, when I kind of do my first like Saturday recording or Friday night recording, whatever, I feel like I usually have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I really don't this time because that heat kind of really screwed up a lot of stuff. I have no real fitness things to talk about. Work hasn't really been super exciting as of right now, so there's a little bit of that I need to just kind of keep in mind. So in terms of current events over here, not much. Kind of a little same old. But it is nice knowing 4th of July weekend is coming up really soon. Because all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, next week's a short week. That's going to be awesome. Then I realize, oh, my race is the weekend after that. Oh shoot. I have next to no trail running practice in whatsoever. So I think, as I had alluded on Strava, I'm not sure if I put it on here, but I think at this point I'm really not going to do any trail runs per se, but I'm pretty sure this weekend I would like to do maybe Friday is supposed to be like the highs in like the 70s or whatever over here, which is 30 degrees cooler than it has been. Friday I might just go out and do like a night really long distance run. I don't know how far, but I might just do a night really good distance run on Friday while it's as cool as it's going to get. And then I'm going to come back, and rather than do a good trail run, emphasis on the run part, I may instead go and do like either a rucking or kind of trekking thing. Just kind of get back to the basics again, learn how to refocus, or with a more of a focus on just how to energy efficiency wise go up and down steep inclines, steep hills. How do you walk, how not? It's one of those, it sounds really stupid describing it because it's like, duh, I've been walking my whole life, I know how to do this by now. But there are ways to do this kind of more efficiently or less efficiently and whatnot. And I think just getting the basics back under me again might give more bang for the buck in terms of the upcoming race than just any kind of running trail run per se would do. So, which is also why I want to get this done now, because that means if I do that, Friday night is definitely not going to be a modeling night. which means I'm going to be way behind on this, and I would actually need to record something on Saturday so that it could go up on Sunday, which is not a position I want to be in at the moment on these. Granted, I just need to get to the point where I get to painting. Once I get to painting on this, I can stay way ahead with no issue. Painting is one of those things I don't need to think about. You just kind of go, you just do without any problem. It feels like this is problem solving. There's thinking about it. It's trying to figure out how do I want to do this thing, how do I want to approach this. Once I get to painting, other than trying to mix and match colors and get it right, there's really not a whole lot of thinking that I'm doing during that. So maybe I'm doing the painting wrong because of that mindset. But at the same time, it's painting. It's just painting. It's what it is. There's only so much that can be done. And I really should kind of start putting a game plan together on how I actually want to kind of mold some of this, kind of add some of these folds to it, because right now there's not a whole lot going on, and it's feeling a little awkward. This is not how folds look. It's like, come on, ding dong, I know how folds work, and this is not it. Alright, I'm concentrating. You can tell I'm concentrating when I stop talking. That is always the de facto sign that, hey, his brain is actually being engaged in something. Whether good or bad, I don't know. But it does mean I'm actually thinking about at least something. So let's go and actually actively add some folds onto this. Reevaluate, see how we're doing, and then go from there. But again, this stuff may not be correct per se, but at least we can start to add them. Let's bring you over a little bit further down that direction. In a world where nothing is smooth, nothing is actually kind of right. But everything is on camera, I think. That's the important part. Yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling like tonight is one of those I just wanted to get something done, but I didn't come in with an actual game plan in mind, and this whole session is going to suffer because of it. So, sorry about that. That is my bad. But we're going to get through it. In the end, it's going to be okay. feel like down here should have stuff kind of hanging. Might be good. So let's bring a little more down there. Bringing it in. What time do we have? Okay, we still have another 15 minutes of this. This hour feels like it's going so slow, but at the same time, I feel like I have accomplished nothing, so I guess that makes sense we still have time left, because yike. Having one of those goes. Alright, that helps a little bit. Again, I wouldn't mind one coming all the way up and in. We can start from that point, that should be fine. We just get all up in there. And that didn't do what I wanted it to. Come on, visual. Give me the visual I'm looking for. Although, I wish I knew what visual I was looking for. That might help. Like I said, this is going to be one of those where it's going to look wrong, it's going to look wrong, it's going to look wrong, and then all of a sudden, instantly, something's going to go right. And I'm going to be happy. Part of it is there's no real feel like it wants to come. Yeah, I think forward a little bit, and I think that's part of what I'm missing. I have nothing really kind of tracing back towards the top end. go. At least gave this some directionality to it, which I think is actually going to help. Feels like it's coming now from the top kind of down, which I was doing a lot of little things, but you got to get the big moves right as well. So I have a lot of kind of little stuff going on up top, but it helps get the big part a little more correct. What I think I want is a little more big part up top here. Now, what normally happens is I'm adding too much stuff right now. I'm going to come back, look at it. I'm going to read. I may not do the modeling part until Saturday comes because like I said, I'm kind of at a loss for workouts right now. I got to make up for some of that the next couple days. But I'm probably going to still look at this. I'm going to reevaluate this. It's probably going to come down to just simplify. Simplify a lot of these folds. I have too much stuff going on. Get one or two basics right, and then go from there is what I think this is going to turn into. But if that's the case, that's fine. That's 100% fine. I'm okay with that. But that's part of what the fun is. Just try to get things going. Well, let's get a little bit of you here. Now you have, this one should be a little easier to get it off of because we have a point up top here, which things are going to come off of. We have right inside the elbow. So we are going to get some folds coming off of that. And actually, it's not going to be nearly as much on the top side as it is on the bottom side here. So let's just get these in. Shoop-a-doop-a-doop. And I can tell you, once again, this is going to be, why did you go too complex? Simplify it. This thing looks terrible. But it wouldn't be the first thing I've had to redo this entire process. I'm looking at the core here. I had to redo things numerous times before it came out well. So if that's the case, that's the case. Like I said, my mind is just, it's not in it. I'm doing the time, but yeah, the mind is not in it right now, and I realize that, and I'm sorry about that if I'm wasting your time. But couple more minutes, then it's over. I'm gonna reevaluate this thing, and we're gonna go from there and actually get a good session in next time. because this is a little rough. And this has definitely turned into an ASMR because I'm not talking. Alright, I'm feeling like this was, yeah, kind of a wasted segment. Kind of feeling like this was a wasted segment. We know where the back is going to go. Thankfully, I've been pushing this thing on so much that that has actually started to form its way correctly. What I can do is if I go back to you, I mean, it's going to sit kind of flat on here, so we're not going to see the line in the back here. So I can actually take that out and at least have one thing that I know is going to result in forward progress. It may have only taken like a couple minutes of this entire session, but at least something will show forward progress on here. Yeah, that's looking a little more correct. I can still use a little bit more kind of between the shoulder blades, but now when I get the huge shoulder pads on there, that's going to blend right into this as well, and life will be good. But well, for what it's worth, we did something. I don't know if it was good. I think there's going to be a lot of fixing next session. I'm not happy with where this thing is right now, but that's what happens when the brain just isn't 100% in it. Sometimes progress isn't always linear. Things happen. That's just kind of where it is. Not much has changed in that regard. But I'd promised a puffy shirt. We got you a puffy shirt. And that is what we wound up with. And next time, we're going to see if we can fix the puffy shirt. Fix him. He's in there. I said I am very much looking forward to the day I can fix that face. But no, I think we're just going to call it here. I'm going to reevaluate next time. We're going to fix all of this because, like I said, not super happy with where it is. And then hopefully we'll get this jacket going. And the jacket should be, I believe the jacket itself is going to be significantly easier. But until then, it is what it is, and enjoy.